In early August 2026, a U.S. Navy sailor went overboard into the Arabian Sea. While they were quickly recovered by a rescue helicopter, the incident highlighted a growing desperation within the fleet. Military families and internal reports suggest this wasn't an isolated accident. At least 3 other crew members were reportedly stopped from jumping overboard as the crew reached a psychological breaking point. A Nimitz-class aircraft carrier like the Abraham Lincoln operates as a floating city. It houses 5,000 sailors and Marines and requires 15,000 meals a day just to keep its population fed. That population is currently enduring a modern naval record. By mid-August, the crew had logged more than 250 consecutive days at sea without once touching land. Lawmakers and families are demanding an immediate accounting of the ship's condition. The Pentagon has pushed back, calling reports of poor conditions completely misrepresented, and stating that there is no unusual spike in suicidal ideation aboard the vessel. This creates a gap in the narrative. Either military leadership is blind to a humanitarian disaster, or the official definition of a normal deployment has been stretched far beyond human survivability. When the Lincoln departed San Diego on November 21, 2025, the crew prepared for a standard, predictable 7-month deployment to the Indo-Pacific. That schedule evaporated. With the outbreak of active combat against Iran, the ship was diverted directly to the Middle East. Erasing scheduled port calls, the ship remained in a holding pattern for over 8 months, severing access to fresh supplies. The indefinite mission extension changed the carrier's role. Without port access, the ship transitioned from a supported operating base into an isolated combat zone where no one gets off. Crew members report running entirely out of essential hygiene supplies including soap, sticks of deodorant, and tubes of toothpaste. Deep inside the ship, the physical infrastructure is faring worse. Families report that sailors are dealing with perpetually broken toilets, inoperable laundry facilities, and showers coated in mold. A 2022 failure highlights this vulnerability. The bilge at the hull's bottom gathers hazardous seawater, oil, and runoff. A decayed vent pipe failed, allowing 2,000 gallons of toxic E. coli-laced wastewater to leak directly into the ship's clean drinking water tanks. Maintaining these specialized systems becomes harder during continuous combat operations. Without the deep maintenance periods typically provided by port calls, early signs of carbon steel decay in the lower decks are more likely to go unnoticed until a system fails. A broken toilet or a moldy shower is not a minor inconvenience when you cannot leave. These physical breakdowns systematically degrade the habitability of the ship, stripping the crew of their primary safe haven. Operating in a highly contested combat zone requires a relentless pace. To maintain blockade operations and fly combat sorties over Iran, the crew is subjected to grueling 16-hour workdays. Clinical sleep studies conducted by the Navy have linked this kind of fragmented rest to rapid mood degradation and cognitive decline in deployed sailors. That exhaustion is multiplied by the uncertainty of the mission. The Lincoln's original May return date was scrapped, and the Navy has not publicly announced a new one, destroying baseline morale. The specific cocktail of physical exhaustion, a decaying environment, and indefinite isolation creates extreme psychological attrition. In this context, desperate overboard attempts become a predictable symptom of systemic failure. The Navy insists it is managing disruptions by prioritizing mission-critical cargo, like food and ammunition. But the families on shore argue that basic human preservation is the ultimate mission-critical variable. The current geopolitical strategy of indefinite carrier deployments relies on a dangerous assumption that American warships and the people running them are invincible to wear and tear. No matter how heavily armored the hull is, or how well the geopolitical strategy looks on a map, the breaking point of any warship will always be the human beings trapped inside it.